Right guys, what is going on? BusterBarnes here, bringing you my review slash recap of Chelsea's 4-0 win away against Sevilla in the Champions League. A pretty shocking one. I don't think a scoreline that any of us did expect, but I will be getting into how the game did go, an overview of the whole thing, and as always giving you guys my player ratings and some points heading up to the player of the season point scoring system as well. So if you guys do enjoy this review, sorry it's becoming a little bit late, but we did get there in the end. Please be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thoughts and player ratings as well. I would love to see all of your guys' thoughts on that game, and as always do subscribe for more Chelsea FC content. So getting into the game, we did actually see a 4-2-3-1, and actually maybe a little bit surprising. Maybe some people thought we'd still go with the 4-3-3, but I think that probably Jorginho and Kovacic with Havertz maybe works better in that pivot sort of system. A big shock actually was the defence. I think a lot of people expected the front line of Giroud, Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi, as rotated as that was. We all thought Havertz would maybe get some minutes as well. But yeah, the back line of Emerson, Rudiger, Christensen and Aspi, I think that might have filled a lot of hearts with a little bit of dread. Obviously Aspi is solid, but the other three don't really get consistent minutes. So yeah, it was a little bit scary. I thought for sure we were going to concede in this game, but that actually did not end up being the case. So when the game did actually start, we were on the front foot pretty quickly. I do have to say that I do think Sevilla did rotate some players as well, maybe had some unavailable. So it was kind of like a second team versus a second team with a couple of first team players dotted around in each one. But I think it just shows that our depth is completely, our depth is completely class at the moment, guys, compared to most teams in Europe. And yeah, it did pay off well for us in this game. It started off rather quickly. I believe it was a counter-attack from Chelsea. Havertz does put the ball nicely into Giroud, who cuts in on his left foot very nicely and slots it past the keeper. I believe it was Sevilla's third choice keeper, but to be honest, I think a lot of it was immaculate finishing by Giroud. I don't think their keeper really did anything that wrong the entire game. But yeah, that was going to be 1-0 very quickly on in the match, and that did set a nice tone. But since that happened, Sevilla did turn things up, and they were a little bit all over us in possession. A lot of blocks had to be made by the defence. I do think the defence did perform well under pressure, which is maybe something that we don't necessarily see. Maybe they're a lot more comfortable with someone like Mendy in goal, and it makes them a bit more confident, rather than thinking that any sort of opportunity they give away is going to be a goal, which I guess could make things potentially quite tense. But I believe it ended 1-0 in the first half. And it was a decent way to cap off the half as well. And I think that we all thought that we'd probably concede and that we definitely needed another goal rather quickly. And I mean, that's what came in the second half. Giroud goes running through. I believe it was a ball by Kovacic. And I mean, a lot of these goals were just really the pure work by Giroud. I mean, credit to the assisters, obviously, but a lot of it was just Giroud, just really being on form, it seems, during this game. And yeah, I just think that he was immaculate, and his goal was just great. It was on his right foot this time. His first one was on his left. He chipped it over the keeper, and that did make it 2-0. And by that point, I think a lot of us felt comfortable that we would be winning this game. But credit to the whole team still. We won the ball well, made some interceptions well. The wingers, I think, did well. I think Hudson-Odoi was maybe unlucky in this game not to get any sort of goal or assist. I think he made a lot of good runs and wasn't found. I think Pulisic, trying to get back into form, maybe didn't have the best game. I think it was still a decent game, but you could see that he really wanted that goal. He was really trying to make things happen for himself, maybe acting a little bit selfishly in this game, which, I mean, you don't necessarily hate to see an attacker being selfish, but there were some opportunities where he maybe should have passed it to his fellow wing counterpart. And yeah, so I do feel a bit bad for Hudson-Odoi, who did do some good stuff, but maybe wasn't found as much as he should have been. But the third goal, it was when some of our subs came on. Kante, Ziyech and Mount all coming on at the same time, and it was Kante. Giroud made a really nice run in between the Sevilla defence. Kante with a delicious ball crossed into the box. Giroud with a bullet header over the goalkeeper, and that was, again, a perfect hat-trick for Olivier Giroud. I believe our first Champions League hat-trick since Didier Drogba in 2006 or something like that, so that is awesome from the Frenchman. And the goal scoring didn't even end there. He did win a penalty all by himself, and he did put it in the back of the net. Jorginho didn't take it. They obviously thought that Giroud's on form, may as well let him take the penalty. Don't want to scupper maybe his attitude, and Giroud did bury it in. So I guess maybe you could say it's the perfect quadruple of goals, adding a penalty in there as well. All he needed then was a free kick and we would have been perfect for the imperfect 5 goals, I suppose. But yeah, Giroud just was completely on form. He was, without a shadow of a doubt, the best player on the pitch. Probably the top performer in the Champions League that match week as well. And yeah, just an awesome display. None of us really predicted, I think, 4-0 against Sevilla away, even though there were some rotations. And that does actually secure our place at the top of Group E, which is absolutely awesome. Even if we lose our game against Krasnodar and Sevilla beat Rennes, we'll still go full on head-to-head. So we can really rotate and rest some players for that Krasnodar game, which is absolutely awesome. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but I think there are some good teams that are underperforming in their group and could potentially come second. We could always still pull a Real Madrid or pull, a PSG or a Leipzig or something like that. So it's definitely not going to necessarily be easy going into the round of 16, but I guess we have given ourselves the best chance of maybe getting through the round of 16. I think it's been a while since we've got through the round of 16, so it would be a nice thing to see this season. But yeah, great performance by the team. Werner and Gilmour also came on a bit later. Really awesome seeing Gilmour back with some minutes. I think he'll probably get some more as the weeks go on with the cluster of fixtures. I think Krasnodar will be a game that we do see him maybe a little bit more, as in that game this doesn't really matter to our squad, or at least to the Champions League standings, I should say. But I believe actually we've only conceded 1 goal in the Champions League so far in the group stage, which is absolutely crazy. Our defence is just something else compared to all it was last season, and even with the personnel change, it was still solid. So I think that really gives credit to maybe the coaching of the defence and how they're just performing way better. So credit to that. But without further ado, let's get into my team ratings. Okay, so starting off in goal, I'm going to be giving Edouard Mendy a 7. He kept the clean sheet, didn't really actually have to do that much. I think he made 1 decent save, but it's just a performance that you would expect from a decent goalkeeper when he's not being challenged too much. So he is going to get a 7 out of 10. As you guys know, 6 is the base rating. 6 is like you've done, your job, you've done all right. But all the defenders are going to get at least a 7 when we do keep a clean sheet. Rudiger, Christensen and Azpilicueta are all going to get 7s. I think Aspi maybe stood out a bit more. I think Christensen stood out quite a bit as well, but maybe not too much stat-wise in the sense where we would be giving them more. I'm actually going to give Emerson though a 7.5. I thought he was quite impressive. I thought he was getting down the wing quite well, making some tackles, interceptions. I think he's quite an inconsistent player, and we sometimes see the best of him, sometimes the worst, as we saw last season when he started the season brilliantly and then just sort of fell off. But it was a good performance from him, so I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. Going into the pivot, I'm going to give Jorginho a 7. Decent performance again, did his job, did control some of the play, did make some tackles and interceptions. I think a 7.5, however, has to go to Mateo Kovacic, who obviously, I wouldn't say was necessarily too different from Jorginho, but he did get an assist for Giroud's second goal, so I think that is going to boost him up a little bit to a 0.5 rating. Going on to Kai Havertz, he's going to get 7.5 as well. Obviously, this was his first start since he came back from that coronavirus scare, so it was a good performance from him starting the game. I think he might start against Leeds, but you obviously guys can see that in my preview, which will come up later today. And yeah, 7.5 from him, got the assist, and yeah, decent performance from Kai in the number 10 role. I think we'll probably be seeing him more in the number 8 role, but he still did his job a bit more further forward in midfield. Going on to the front three now, I'm going to give Christian Pulisic a 6.5, which is the lowest rating of the starting 11. I don't think it was necessarily an awful performance from him. He's clearly just rusty. He's had some injury knocks. He hasn't really played consistently this season, so it was always going to be this way. Had the opportunity to maybe score 1 or 2 goals as well, which I think on a better day he would have put away. I've marked him down a little bit because I think he maybe was a bit selfish on 1 or 2 opportunities where he could have maybe set up some of his teammates. But still, we won the game, and he made some very good runs. Still looked like the Christian Pulisic we know. And yeah, I think that it was still a positive performance from him. Hudson-Odoi, I'm going to give a 7. Despite not getting a goal or an assist, I think his work was very good. I think his defensive work has definitely shown some improvement. I'm not sure if Lampard still maybe trusts to play him when it's not Azpilicueta at fullback, but I guess we'll see that in the future. I think he was unlucky not to get some goals. I'm really giving him a 7 based off his runs and based off some of his play where maybe it wasn't paid off as much as it should have been. But obviously going into up front, guys, I'm giving Giroud a 10 out of 10 performance. You have to when he scored 4 goals. When he scored the hat-trick, I was like, should I give him a 10? Should I give him a 9.5? Do something like that. But when he buried the 4th, it had to be a 10 out of 10 performance from him. The first 10 of the series I do believe. And yeah, just immaculate. I think he's really given Lampard some big issues, or maybe no issues, in selecting his team from Leeds. Maybe he gets straight in there. And yeah, just a perfect 4 goals for him. You know, a lot of talk's been about him, whether he'll be leaving in January. Lampard said he's still got his part to play. And I mean, by God, does he mean that? I mean, he scored against Rennes, the winning goal. He scored these 4 against Sevilla. Really just on form at the moment, and hopefully he can continue that against Leeds if he does, in fact, start. And yeah, that's going to be the starting 11, guys. Going on to the bench, everyone is going to get a 6, apart from N'Golo Kante, who I'm going to give a 7. His impact, as usually from the bench, is awesome. I mean, he's just got the energy, hasn't he? He's always going to get high marks coming off the bench, and he did cap it off with a really nice assist as well. So from a bench performance alone, he's going to get a 7. The others all, you know, did their job. Some didn't have that many minutes. They're all going to get a 6 out of 10. Mason Mount maybe had the opportunity to score, but did not do so at the end of the game as well. But those are going to be my player ratings, guys. Let me know down below what your guys are. If we do get onto my player of the season point scoring system, I'm actually going to give 2 players 1 point and a player 3 points. I think we all know who that is. Kovacic and Havertz will be getting the 1 point each, both getting an assist, both doing decent displays. I'm not giving any of them 2 points because I didn't think one stood out that much over the other, and I think that really, besides the one key man, everyone did well, but not like well enough that I'd say it was a performance worth 2 points, if you guys know what I mean. Or maybe they did well enough, but they didn't necessarily stand out, you know, in contrast to everyone else. But Giroud is going to get 3 points, 4 points. I mean, maybe I could give him 4 points. Maybe a performance like that deserves 4 points. But I am going to stick with the 3. I tell you what, if you guys want me to give him 4 points, put that in the comments below, and I'll do that for the next review. But yeah, Giroud going to get the 3 points. Just one of the best performances from a striker, scoring all 4 goals. Just everything he put away turned to goals. I think he had maybe 5 shots and 4 on target. With everyone on target, it went in. And like I said, even their third goalkeeper, I don't think he did anything wrong. I just think that it was immaculate finishing by Giroud. Just the perfect hat-trick capped off by a pen. And yeah, he's going to be getting all 3 points from me. Maybe he can get some more going into our game against Leeds. But as you guys can see on the screen how the points are tallying up. Still ages to go. Still more Champions League games to go. Hopefully a lot more Champions League games to go. And yeah, hope you guys did enjoy this little review. Sorry it's a little bit late, but we did get there in the end. The schedule should clean up a bit more going forward. I've just been very busy with work, but that has sort of died down a little bit now that the lockdown's over. So hopefully we'll be seeing more, or we should be seeing more daily uploads from me in this little maybe wobbly patch. But that is going to be it, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe for more Chelsea FC content. Stay tuned for my Leeds preview coming out later today. Hope you all have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.